Hi there, my name is Remy Sharp, and this is a screencast of some live coding where I have a problem where I'm copying and pasting files into JS bin, and what's supposed to happen is when I paste it, it will upload the file, but it doesn't do this. If we look at the console, we actually have an error, and there's code to actually do uploading and so on. We look at the sources. This is what happens. So on paste, we get the clipboard data items. We log out the length. So if we just look at the length there, got 2. Then we loop around looking for the type of image, and when we get an image, we break because we've stored the file variable as this image. We upload the asset. Now, if we look at what's actually logged out. It's a blob, which is great, but all we have is a blob with a MIME type and a file size. We actually have the file name that's been uploaded. So let's just take a breakpoint here and drop the file back in again and see what we get. Oh, sorry, not drop. Wrong way around. Paste the file back in again. So file equals getters file. So we step over and we look at file is null at this point. Okay, so this is the first bit that's breaking. Okay, so we have a quick look at this. Oops, excuse me. Item I, we've got type as plain text, kind is string. Okay, so this item has get as, should have a get as string. Get as string. And this takes a callback. I think I need to play for that to happen. Let's just add in items I.get as string function s alert s. Now maybe you already see the problem. Oh, let's try that again. I've gone and corrupted the copy. Let's go back here. Discuss.png. Right. So the array item that's coming out null, that basically has the break, where get as file is failing, it is successfully getting a string, and we can actually double check that. Let's just put that in there, just to be totally sure. Okay, let's go back. Copying the file, pasting it again. Okay, so there's no alert, so we know that there's actually 2 items in this clipboard data. One is the string, the name of the file, and the other is the actual file. Now, to be able to do the upload properly, we need to construct a real file. It needs to have a file name, basically, and because it doesn't have a file name, it's breaking. Now, the API for getAsFile is synchronous, but the API for getAsString is asynchronous, which is a bit of an issue. So we can't just do a for loop. So this is where I'm going to solve this problem using promises. Okay, so I haven't coded this yet at all. I'm working this out on the fly right now, but I want to show you how you can use promises to solve these kind of problems. Now I'm using, I have RSVP on the page, but Chrome has native promises today, and there's promise polyfills, which I think are very powerful things to be using. I think Firefox has native promises today as well. Safari, I think, has them, and IE will have them very shortly. Opera as well, I assume. But anyway, the point is, it's very easy to get a polyfill that matches the promises API perfectly. So let's have a look at this code. Right, we want to do, we need a function that returns, so get file data. Okay, so we're going to pass in the item. This is going to return, I'm going to do RSVP, I'm going to do var promise equals window.promise or rsvp.promise. Okay. Return new promise function. Resolve, reject. Don't get those two the wrong way around, otherwise it goes horribly wrong. And we're going to do if item. What was the attribute it had? Damn, we lost it. There were some attributes, so we're going to just check that. Resolve. Set a breakpoint there. And we call a function get file data item I. Okay, so let's give that another try. Copy, paste. Didn't break, brilliant. Let's try that again. Oh, there was no breakpoint, that's why. Oh, sod. Just refresh that. See if we can get a breakpoint there. There we go. I think it couldn't set a breakpoint because it hadn't loaded that in memory yet. Maybe. Okay. So, what is item? Item? We lost the scope. Closure. Wow. Okay, where are we? Inside the function call. It's not global, we know that. That's weird. That's very strange. Let's get rid of that. So this is, like I said, live coding. Okay, so your kind is a string. I don't know what it's breaking above the promise. It's kind of strange. If we run again, with kind file. Okay, so this is the key, isn't it? So we want to say if item.kind equals string. No idea if that's spec compliant or not. We're going to do item. What was the syntax? Get as string function string, and then we're going to resolve with the string. I mean, that's actually the file name. Else we're going to just resolve with item.get as file data. Okay, and if there's any exceptions in this, it'll throw for us, and it will reject. So this needs to be var promises equals array. Oops. Promises dot push, and then we should be able to get rid of that code. Let's comment that out. Then we should do promises dot all function data. So we should be getting. I'm not sure what order we'll get it. We should get the data at this point. Okay, so I'm going to refresh that. Just reload that code. I might just put a breakpoint in that just to see what exactly is going to happen. Nothing. Oh, uncaught, undefined is not a function. Of course not. New promise. promises.all. Let's have a look. Promises.all. Yes, that's a function. Promise.all. That looks alright, isn't it? Yeah, let's break on exceptions. I clearly don't have that correct, do I? Oh, it's not then. What am I doing? Of course it's not then. I mean, that's a guess. Copy, paste. Ah, there we go. So we have an exception here. Items of file. Get file data. Is that wrong? It is wrong. It's completely wrong. Well, there you go. That's where we'd be rejecting, because we're not actually catching a reject. Dot catch error, and we will do console.log error. So if I do error here, I never feel like it's quite right. Let's refresh. Yeah, I think logging out the error. Anyway, we need to change that to, what was it? Get file data. Oh, we're still failing. Item, let's have a look at item. Get as file, oh my gosh. It's a little bit late. Okay, undefines a function. See, when I do a console log in this, I tend to do console log error stack. It's a bit more useful. It's quite a laborious process as well, going round and round. Ah, cool. Okay, so data. We have a string and we have our blob. Sweet. So we actually have the file and the file name. That's perfect. What I'm going to do with it, I don't know. But the point is, we've taken this kind of loop code that could potentially be a complete mess because we had a synchronous function and an asynchronous function that we need to make use of both. And what we're actually doing now is looping over, pushing our promises onto an array and just saying when all the array is complete, then do something with the data. So this should be, well, not even if file, because we know we have the file. Prevent default anyway. That might not be solved, I don't know. That should just be a fix me. I'm not sure if that's the right answer. But this is basically how you might get around having, like I said, an asynchronous function and a synchronous function using promises. So I just have this return promise, and I resolve inside the callback for one of them, and I resolve the synchronous call for the other one. And then my code that actually makes use of the promises is pretty straightforward to follow. There's no kind of crazy double check if this callback is finished or anything like that. So hopefully that's useful. Hopefully you're using promises in your code today. They are very powerful. I've seen proper callback hell. This could have been callback hell. Yeah, I highly recommend. So good articles by Jake Archibald. There's a promises.js I quite like. Node module and browser module, and also they're natively there in the browser. So make use of them. Good stuff.